any other day, time drags during the last period.
The Wood is a 1999 coming-of-age comedy drama directed by Rick Famuyiwa and starring Omar Epps as Mike, Richard T. Jones as Slim, and Taye Diggs as Roland. Here are 10 facts about the movie The Wood. Number 1. The Wood was Rick Famuyiwa's first feature film and is a semi-autobiographical account of his growing up in Inglewood, California. When asked if the film was an autobiography in a 1999 interview, Rick stated, "It's not a complete autobiography of me. I mean, kind of a small portion of it is real. It's definitely based on me and my best friend." Number 2. Now recall the scene when Mike, Roland, and Slim go to the mini mart and there are these 3 guys standing behind the counter. Well, that was actually Rick Famuyiwa and his friends that he grew up with in the Wood. Jeffrey Blackshire. The other guy is King Jones. Jeffrey actually went on to become the current fire chief of Palo Alto Fire Department. And King Jones played professional basketball overseas. He also coached basketball at several universities and appeared in some of the movies that Rick has done over the years. And it was a great little cameo because when we did the rewatch, we were kind of looking at the guys in the background and like, why are they kind of, like they didn't seem like the typical stand-ins, the typical extras that you see in the background. They were just kind of standing there looking, and we were kind of speculating like, hey, who are those guys back there? So there we have it. That's our answer. Number 3. Although the film stars Omar Epps, Taye Diggs, and Richard T. Jones, let us not forget the fantastic job the younger versions of each character did. Now, Sean Nelson played young Mike. Now, you may recognize him from previously starring in 1996's Fresh and then later in 2000's The Corner. Trent Cameron played young Roland, and then Dwayne Finley played young Slim. Now, guys, drop down in the comments, out of those 3 guys, who was your favorite?
I sworn I saw the light, a hand reaching out to me from the heavens. My mistake, it was his fist.
I said stop it, Stacy!
Now, speaking of our other characters who played the younger versions of the kids in the film, we do have Melinda Williams who played Alicia. Now, Melinda was actually 28 years old at the time of filming for The Wood. Although DeAndre Bonds, who plays Stacy, was her quote-unquote big brother in the film, he actually was 5 years younger than Melinda at the time of filming. Number 5. In addition to The Wood, Rick has also directed several movies including 2002's Brown Sugar, 2010's Our Family Wedding, and 2015's Dope. Now, Omar Epps and Sanaa Lathan went on to star in 2000's Love and Basketball, while Taye Diggs and Sanaa Lathan went on to star in 2002's Brown Sugar. Of course, you all know Taye and Sanaa were both in 1999's The Best Man. Rick has also directed several episodes of Disney's The Mandalorian. Number 6. If you've seen Dope, you may have noticed a character from The Wood in the movie. DeAndre Bonds' character Stacy reappears in the film, though Dope doesn't make the connection explicit. Stacy is now a high school security guard in Dope.
Hands off me, man. Don't think I'm gonna beat your ass, Marquise. I came up with your daddy. You better ask him about Stacy.
Famuyiwa wrote him into the movie to connect both films. Rick stated, "I wanted to show my new characters were living in the same world as The Wood." Number 7. The Best Man and The Wood both came out in 1999. It was rumored that Malcolm Lee and Rick Famuyiwa were trying to beat each other at the theater. In an interview, Rick Famuyiwa told Brian Rafferty, "There was some territorialism. Hey, we got here first. But ultimately, I felt it was cool these movies are being made." Taye Diggs said that he felt the movies were in essence completely different anyway, and that there was plenty of room for both. Now, The Wood came out July 16th of 1999, 3 months before The Best Man. But the thing is, they're both movies that are about weddings. Besides those 2 things, they are definitely 2 totally separate films. Number 8. In August 2021, Showtime gave a pilot order to Rick Famuyiwa and Justin Hillian for The Wood. The series cast would have included Vince Staples, Melvin Gregg, with Richard T. Jones and Tamala Jones set to reprise their roles as Slim and Tanya, respectively, from the film. Now, in April of 2023, unfortunately, Showtime announced that the network would not be moving forward with the series. That really sucks. We have seen in recent years where we see this resurgence of films coming to TV and having a continuation of the story. We saw that done with The Best Man. We saw that done with Boomerang. Now, whether, these reboots or remakes or whatever are done well, that's always the question. But I do think that there was definitely room for this story to continue. Number 9, the soundtrack for The Wood was released July 13th, 1999 through Drive Records and went gold August 25th. Now, songs by Mystical, Outkast, Blackstreet, Biz Markie, Houdini, Ahmad are featured on the soundtrack. But there are a couple really, really big standout tracks. So one of them is I Wanna Know by Joe.
I wanna know what turns you on. Yeah.
That song actually was supposed to be released on Joe's album in 1997, All That I Am. But at the time, Joe was having issues with the record label Jive, and a few later he was asked to contribute a song to the soundtrack. He then sent in I Wanna Know because it happened to be lying around the studio. Come on, Joe. Not you sent in the throwaway track. I Wanna Know is not a throwaway track. Like, it's got to be one of my favorite songs by him of all time. So listen, when they talk about time and place and the timing was right, I mean, the song ended up being a smash hit. Now, another song on the soundtrack, If This World Were Mine. Cheryl Lynn Luther Vandross. Watching his performance on Soul Train, Luther is sitting there singing his tail off.
Loving me, baby. Oh.
The man just sang, y'all. Now, other popular versions of this song, because I have to say this is the ultimate version. It's not the original. The original actually was written and performed by Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell. But we do have a couple other versions. Coco and Tyrese did a version. John Legend and Imani Uzuri did a version of it. There's also that version by Smokey Robinson. Guys, drop down in the comments which version is your favorite. And also, have I missed one? Is there one that I haven't heard that I should be listening to? Number 10, the film was made on a budget of $6 million and earned over $25 million at the box office. The film holds a 61% rating on Rotten Tomatoes based on 56 reviews, and Roger Ebert called it a sweet, lighthearted comedy. He also said the growing up stuff is kind of wonderful. Now, I'll say I definitely agree with Roger in this instance. The critics don't always get movies right. I love the story because for me, when we talk about experiences and stories in cinema, this movie showed for the first time like a relatable childhood, because everyone can relate to being that new kid in school and having to come up in front of the class and it's awkward and you're embarrassed. I mean, Mike's introduction to the class was a lot more awkward than most of ours, but like, it was really, really enjoyable. There were a lot of laugh out loud moments, and I feel like, when you can watch a movie and still laugh hard, it's aged well. Well, that's all we have for you today. Hope you enjoyed. We really appreciate you guys tuning in and rocking with us. We will catch y'all on the next one.